Welcome to another video. Today we are going to read, you guys voted on this, Amelia Bedelia's First Apple Pie. It's amazing. It's not as funny as our normal stories, but it does have a little bit of funny. I love Amelia Bedelia. This is a bit of a longer book, around 10 minutes. So just try to watch the full thing, and if you don't like it, that's okay if you accept. And we're in a new surrounding today. This is my bedroom. Say hello to my bedroom. So let's get right into it. Amelia Bedelia's First Apple Pie by Herman Parrish. Put your nose in a book. Read with Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia's First Apple Pie. Thanks, Grandma. You're the apple of my eye, too. That's so sweet of her. Amelia Bedelia was visiting her grandparents. It was a glorious autumn afternoon, the perfect day to rake leaves into piles and run around the yard. Fall's in the air, said Granddad. Granddad and Amelia Bedelia looked up. So are the birds, said Amelia Bedelia. V-W. What are they trying to spell? Just then Amelia Bedelia's grandmother came outside. Quick, said Granddad, look busy. But it was too late. Hey, lazy bones, Grandma said jokingly. If you're just going to stand around, I've got a job for you. What do you need? Granddad asked. Apples, said Grandma. I made pie dough. If you'll get some apples, I can teach Amelia Bedelia how to bake an apple pie. So there's her raking leaves, and there's Grandma saying, do some work. Grandma's apple pie was Amelia Bedelia's favorite. Hooray, she yelled. Racing to the car, she started to run, but tripped over a branch and landed right in the pile of leaves. Whoosh! How was your trip? Asked Granddad as he helped her up. Fun, she said. Ball is in the air and on the ground too. Granddad smiled and said, watch your step. Amelia Bedelia tried to watch her steps, but it made her dizzy and looked down at her feet the whole time. So there's her getting all dizzy, and here's her falling into the leaves. That's a pretty good fall into leaves, as long as there's no worms. Amelia Bedelia and Granddad were ready in the car when Grandma called out, be sure to pick up some Granny Smith. Who is Granny Smith? Is she helping us bake the pie? Amelia Bedelia asked. You bet, Granddad said. We couldn't do it without her. That's silly. Amelia Bedelia and Granddad drove out to the country. Your supermarket is far away, said Amelia Bedelia. We aren't going to the supermarket, said Granddad. We'll get our apples from the farmer's market. What? Asked Amelia Bedelia. Do we need to buy a farmer? No, said Granddad, laughing. These apples are much fresher. Oh, so they are more fresher when you get them from a farmer's market instead of the supermarket. Apples are good for me, right? Asked Amelia Bedelia. Oh, yes, said Granddad. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. They're good for your teeth, too. Folks call them nature's toothbrush. Hey, Granddad, said Amelia Bedelia, if I eat an apple every day, I won't have to go to the doctor or the dentist ever again? Granddad smiled. I wish it worked that way, Pumpkin, he said. Granddad picked up a bright green apple, polished it on his jacket, and tossed it to Amelia Bedelia. Nice catch, he said. Meet Granny Smith. Amelia Bedelia looked aloud. Took a look. Loud, crunchy bite. Granny is yummy, she said. She's eating it. I don't know if we want to eat a Granny, but Granny Smith apples are delicious. Nuts. Whoa, there's a lot of apples. Bushel baskets baskets overflowed with red, yellow, orange, pink, and green apples. Some apples wore stripes or spots or splotches. The colors remained. Amelia Bedelia's of autumn. So they're all the colors of autumn. That's cool. While Granddad chose apples to buy, Amelia Bedelia read the names out loud. One kind is called Delicious, but they all tasted tasty to her. So there's Winter Banana, Green Sleeve, Black Twig, Blaze, Duchess, Northern Lights, Pink Pearl, Granny Smith, Delicious, Golden Nugget, and Royal Gala. I don't know what I would like best. When they got home, Grandma went right to work, coring and peeling the apples. Amelia Bedelia measured the peels to see which one was the longest. Grandma cut each apple into 2 pieces, cut them then into 4 pieces, then into 8 pieces. I don't have 8 fingers right now because I'm holding the book, but if I did, I would show you 8. Finally, she sprinkled sugar and cinnamon on the slices. So that's her making them. Next, Grandma pulled out all of her pie pans, hunting for just the right one. Amelia Bedelia found a tiny pan. Is this a toy? She asked. No, said Grandma. That is a real pie pan. It's just really small. Ah, here's the one I want. Now please, get me a little flour, Sugar Plum. So this is her getting them. Amelia Bedelia spied a small flower on the windowsill, and she picked it. Here you go, Grandma, she said. Thanks, sweetie, said Grandma. Then she showed Amelia Bedelia where she kept the flour she used for baking. Right there. Grandma rolled out the dough. It got flatter and thinner. It got rounder and bigger. Grandma said, careful, watch your fingers, because she didn't want to roll over them. Amelia Bedelia took her hands off the table. She watched her fingers very carefully. They looked pretty boring. She wondered why she had to do this to make an apple pie. Now we need a sprinkle of flour, said Grandma. Amelia Bedelia reached into the sack of flour, grabbed a handful, and sprinkled it all over their heads. Grandma laughed. Not on us, she said, on the dough. Amelia Bedelia sprinkled some on the dough too. Don't worry if you're getting bored. It's almost over. Don't worry. At last, said Grandma, we're ready to put the pie together. And that's exactly what Grandma and Amelia Bedelia did. Then Grandma popped the pie into the oven, set the timer, and started to clean up the kitchen. Ooh, she's putting the apples in. That's when Amelia Bedelia had an idea. She took the leftover dough and rolled out 2 small circles. Then put one in the pie pan filled with extra apples and plopped over the circle on top. Then she crimped the edge all around. A smidgen of dough was left, so she made a little flower, a tiny daisy to decorate the top. So that's her with the little tiny pan. She's smart, but yeah, silly. Your mom and dad will be here soon, said Grandma. We'll have a pie party. Yippee! Said Amelia Bedelia. Granddad heard the commotion and came into the kitchen. What are we celebrating? He said. Honey, said Grandma. Amelia Bedelia made her first apple pie. After Grandma took her pie out of the oven, Amelia Bedelia carefully and secretly slid hers in. I'm going to set this outside to cool. It was time to get ready for the party. Grandma hummed. Then, as she set the table, soon Granddad was whistling. I can't whistle, but it would go. the same tune. Outside, the birds were chirping and tweedling and singing like mad. Listen, said Amelia Bedelia. It sounds like the birds are having a party too. My pie! Exclaimed Grandma. They all ran outside. The pie was covered with birds. Scram! Hollered Grandma. Shoo, shoo! Chirp, 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 chirp. Amelia Bedelia took off her shoe and handed it to Grandma, but it was too late. Our pie, said Amelia Bedelia. Gone, said Grandma. Oh no, there's probably a delicious pie. Just then, Amelia Bedelia's parents arrived. Amelia Bedelia's dad stared at the empty pie pan. Gee, he said, couldn't you wait for us? The birds ate our pie, said Amelia Bedelia. What birds? Asked her mom. I think they were swallows, said Granddad. They sure were, said Amelia Bedelia. They swallowed the whole thing. Well, sweetheart, said Amelia Bedelia's mother, let's imagine how good it would have tasted while we eat our ice cream. At least they got ice cream to eat. To the next page. The whole family tried to enjoy the ice cream and not think about the pie, but it was impossible. We made the best pie, said Amelia Bedelia. It was a thing of beauty, said Grandma. And it would have been delicious, said Granddad. It was a perfect pie, said Amelia Bedelia. Her lower lip trembled. Then she let out a sob. You know, said Amelia Bedelia's father, just hearing you talk about that pie makes me think I can smell a fresh baked pie coming out of the oven. My pie! Exclaimed Amelia Bedelia. Yay! They found a pie! She made a tiny one. They raced to the kitchen. Grandma took the tiny pie out of the oven and set it on the table. There it was, bubbling hot and baked to perfection. They all gathered around it and gazed as though it was a brand new baby. Ah, look, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect, said Amelia Bedelia's mother. Just like Grandma's, said Granddad. Only smaller, said Amelia Bedelia. And you made it all by yourself, said Grandma. This time, said Amelia Bedelia's father, let's let it cool down in the house. That's smart. But no one could wait. Grandma cut the tiny pieces to everyone. But no one could wait. Grandma cut tiny pieces to everyone. She took one bite and declared, "This is the best apple pie I've ever tasted, Amelia Bedelia." Amelia Bedelia smiled. That was so big that it was hard for her to eat. "Thank you, Grandma," she said. "Thank you, Granny." "Granny who?" said Amelia Bedelia's mother. "Granny Smith," said Amelia Bedelia. "She made all of our apples in the first place." That was an amazing story. Hope you stayed for the whole time, and if you did, thanks. Tomorrow, we are going to read Chester. If you already read it, that's great, but I'm going to read it tomorrow. So, yeah, bye. Oh, and one more thing. Make sure to go watch Amelia's Animals. And today she was doing J is for Jaguar. Bye.